Hi, my name is Yoon Lee. I'm the artistic director and pianist of Noree Chamber Soloists. I live in New York City. I've been here for about 14 years now. I started music relatively late, when I was 15. That was in Korea. I went to arts high school in Korea, which led me to go to college for 1 year in Korea. But somehow I felt that I needed to explore more, so I moved to the United States in 2004. My big sister was a pianist who's 8 years older than me, so as long as I remember, I've always heard piano at home, morning to night. And we had piano at home, so I remember just climbing up on the chair when I can, just plucking notes. I did learn my piano when I was young from my kindergarten teacher when I was 5. I learned how to read music, I learned how to pluck do, re, mi, but I didn't really like it. It was until later when I sort of, I guess, admired my sister and loved music, just simply fell in love with piano repertoire. And I wanted to be on stage. I really felt that that was my fate. But I was not granted piano lesson, professional piano lesson until much later, until I begged my parents for piano lesson. And I distinctly remember dramatically kneeling in front of my father, looking up to him, begging to let me study music. And I remember my father, after a long silence, he asked me, can you be responsible of your request? Are you not going to regret this choice? And I said, yes, I will be responsible and I'll be very happy if I do so. And ever since, I call myself musician. I remember feeling proud to call myself music student at age 15. I do have 100-year-old Steinway A grand piano, mahogany. It was found by my teacher's tuner's friend who rescued the piano from this old lady. I don't know who she is. I've never really met the family, but she passed away and the piano was rescued from the home. It was sitting as a furniture. It was really wasn't used. So most of its parts are original. It has ivory key, original soundboard. And my piano tuner and maker rebuilt the piano and I've had it for about 9 years now. This piano has moved with me throughout New York City quite a lot. I've experienced a lot of elevators. I've gone in and out of different windows. There was one time that my piano went through a rainstorm. It was going out of window on Broadway and it was swinging with the wind, which made me nervous, but it's safe in my apartment now. At Kniser Hall Chamber Festival, which sort of changed my life. It made me realize my love for chamber music and sort of found my potential as a musician. I performed the Tchaikovsky's Piano Trio, which is massive work, about an hour long, and it ends with funeral march at the end. So it goes through the whole journey for an hour, and then it ends with this heartbreaking, almost dissipating into silence funeral march. I remember after playing that piece, I've poured so much of my emotion out. When I sort of ran to the backstage, I hid behind a door. There was no place to hide, so I just pulled the door. I opened the door so that I can hide on the back of the door like a kid would do hide and seek. Because I just wanted to hide myself. For some reason, I felt so vulnerable after pouring out all my being. That's how I felt. And everybody, of course, tried to find me to congratulate me. I just didn't want to see anybody. But I do think that was one of my best performances. I want to understand music. I want to sit down and study the music. Sometimes, of course, technical things I'll try to achieve certain passages, but it's the best practice when I'm sitting at the piano trying to conquer best phrasing, and I try over and over and I achieve it. That's the best type of satisfaction. There was a time that I really wanted to be a surgeon. I thought I can be really good at it. It's such a cool profession. I think that's long past, it's too late. If I chose another career path, I'll probably become a businesswoman. I'll probably have my company, probably more in sales and advertisement. I'll be very good at it, I think. I think musicians, especially young musicians like us, are so busy sort of dealing with our tasks of learning repertoire and performing. Sometimes we forget what it is that we're doing and what is the purpose that we're doing, besides the fact that we personally love the music. Well, I personally love the music. I feel that I'm an artist. I have a message to say. I know how to interpret music. I know how to perform it for people. If I have to dig to the purpose of music, I would say that it reminds people of something that's bigger than daily life, bigger than success, money. Nowadays, your fame in social media, maybe. It reminds people to be vulnerable. It reminds people that there's humanity, there's this beautiful side of human being that will be left in history, which can be very easily forgotten. So I think the role of music is very important that way. I think there are several causes for young people to lose interest in music. One is obviously education. Since young, I remember being taught about classical music, and at home I was listening to symphonies and listening to music. So music has become one of my language that I'm familiar with, that I can associate with. But not a lot of people have that luxury these days. The other cause is the development of technology, really. We are so familiar with a device that you click and something happens. No one has the patience to learn the instrument and listen to the classical music that goes on for 30 minutes. And music needs that, classical music needs that time, because it's an art of patience, it's art of development. One has to experience from the beginning to the end to really realize what it is that the composer is trying to say. And perhaps one has to listen several times to really find the association. I think it's an ongoing question for classical musicians. There are people who change the content of it. For good or bad, it's their decision, so I can't judge. One can shorten the music, one can bring different elements, say electronic music, dance type of music, or they will compose certain music that's more accessible and call it classical music. I personally think that someone has to protect the integrity of classical music. I believe that the length especially is needed. The patience is needed. Perhaps one can put a different clothes on it, say we can present classical music in a much more relaxed setting when someone can clap when they want, or one can talk about music between the movements or between the works. I and the other artistic director, Lee, we chose to start a group of ensemble with the name of Traveling Sounds a year ago. The purpose was to collect power of all these capable artists from New York City and start something of our own. Because these days, with lots of funding lacking, it's really difficult to be hired, difficult to perform music all over the place. We thought that with our friends, with young people, and especially with such capable people, we have future. We as a young artist, we are trained to play concerto. We are trained to play showpieces that are meant to be performed with big ensemble like orchestra, thinking that one day we'll become this touring soloist all over the world and play with amazing orchestras, which are still valid dream. Realistically, in the modern world, I think there are less and less orchestras, less and less community orchestras, regional orchestras and ensembles that would make that happen. So we thought, why waste those amazing masterpieces? We'll make a self-sufficient ensemble, which we play the orchestra part for each other, and we bring those amazing solo repertoire into accessible stage. And we perform together with the chamber music, which is I think it's a very beautiful idea that we are a group of people who support each other, but individuals are capable and they're shiny and beautiful. So we want to bring that kind of individuality plus a community together.